Coming up tonight on YCN News, Claremont, New Hampshire's River Valley Community College holds a successful Family Science Night. Republican and former U.S. Marine Gary Lambert challenges Congresswoman Ann McLean-Custer to a debate. And Vermont State Police charge a man with heroin possession and impeding a public officer. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth-Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Thursday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. All politics is local, according to former U.S. Speaker of the House, Thomas P. Tip O'Neill. On that note, WNTK is reporting that a Sullivan County GOP leader will oppose Democrat and incumbent state representative Sue Gottling for the District 2 seat. Chairman of the Sullivan County Republicans, Spec Bowers, made his intent to challenge Gottling known yesterday when he filled out necessary campaign paperwork. Bowers is a businessman from George's Mills. Gottling lives in Sunapee and serves on the House Resource, Recreation, and Development Committee. Gottling says she is always open for as many people who want to run for office, and she explains this will be a matchup again with Bowers. Earlier, Gottling served 2 terms as a state representative. When she ran for a 3rd term, she lost to Bowers by 25 votes. She ran again in 2012 and defeated Bowers again. Gottling is seeking re-election in November. Bowers told WNTK that his decision to run is not about him, but the state of the state. He could not be reached for comment today. Any candidate seeking election in New Hampshire has until June 13th to declare his or her candidacy. In other political news, Republican and former U.S. Marine Gary Lambert is challenging Congresswoman Ann McLean-Custer to a debate. Lambert says Custer is uninformed about foreign policy issues facing America. Custer is one of 2 of New Hampshire's representatives to Congress. She represents District 2. Lambert also says the public needs to know more about key national security questions facing the nation. Voters in the 2nd District need to know where their leaders stand, he says in an email. A resident of Nashua, Lambert says he is hopeful Custer will debate these issues at a time and place of her choosing. Lambert joins Melinda Garcia, a Republican from Salem, in running against Custer. Meanwhile, a U.S. Senator from Vermont who is considering a run for president is coming to Warner later this month. Independent Senator Bernie Sanders will be at the Main Street Bookend store at 2 p.m. on Saturday, June 28th. His talk will be the bookstore's first in its series, Rebuilding Our Economy and Restoring Our Democracy, a flyer notes. Sanders will speak in recently dedicated Jim Mitchell Community Park. Sanders is the author of 2 books, 1998's Outsider in the House and 2011's The Speech, a historic filibuster on corporate greed and the decline of our middle class. Sanders has said that if no candidate steps forward with a focus on the issues that he says are critical to the nation's future, he will run for president in 2016. These issues include the growing divide between the rich and poor in America. Lastly, it remains unknown how the rise of opiate addiction in the Northeast is connected or not with the country still finding its way out of 2008's Great Recession. No matter, such drug arrests continue to rise, including an arrest yesterday before noon on Fairgrounds Road in Springfield, Vermont. 32-year-old Joey Bergeron of Wethersfield is charged by Vermont State Police with 3 violations, including heroin possession and impeding a public officer. Around 11:35 a.m., police found Bergeron in Springfield in violation of a court-ordered curfew. When police went to arrest Bergeron on the charge, police say he attempted to hide or eat several bags of heroin by placing the bags in his mouth. He refused police orders to take the bags out of his mouth. Bergeron was scheduled to appear today in Windsor County District Court pending bail posting. Bergeron will be held in Springfield at the Southern State Correctional Facility. Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. A family science night held at River Valley Community College in Claremont last night was so successful that organizers say they will hold another one soon. About 60 people, young and less young, discovered through hands-on activities that learning about science and math can be found. Educators want to get grade schoolers and high school students, too, interested in STEM subjects: science, technology, engineering, and math. Thursday night's participants had a chance to do this. River Valley educators coordinated the program with area 4-H clubs. Dr. Susan Henderson told YCN News that presenting STEM subjects differently can make a world of difference in a child's education.
The best part about tonight is seeing the STEM program reaching out to the younger population. We're hoping that we get more middle school children interested in the STEM curriculum here or some other place, wherever they choose to go. But we want to really show them that it can be fun to do math, to do science, to look at the biology, and then to look at the technology building the robots. So it's fun to see so many younger children here tonight with the interest and the excitement.
At least 5 different tables allowed kids and parents to learn about the brain and skeleton, why some objects float in water and others don't, and how some materials can turn from a solid into a liquid and why. Professor Joanne Clifford explains more about the night's programs.
We partnered with Sullivan County 4-H to see if we could partner on an event that would have a STEM, a science and math initiative. They have a new big science and math initiative, and so do we. So it makes a nice partnership for the two of us. And then the funding comes from New Hampshire Embry. New Hampshire Embry is a grant between Dartmouth College and us, and they pay for initiatives that are related to math and science or biomedical research. So our initiative here now is outreach to the community so that research is a household word. We were very excited to have over 60 people register, and we have a waiting list of people who wanted to come. So we will definitely offer this program again.
The event was free, another draw for Springfield, Vermont resident Kelly Stetner, who brought her 2 children to the family science night.
The fact that this looked like it was going to be a perfect tie-in to a lot of the science work that we do as a homeschool family. We're working with Armando, our second grader, on scientific method, and it looked like there was going to be a lot of opportunity for that here. And it was local. It looked like a really good, fun, free, exciting night, and the 9th grader can actually jump in and do a lot of fun stuff too. She's not just helping.
YCN News will let you know when the next fun-filled science night will be. To learn more about 4-H in Sullivan County, call 603-863-9200. Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now, Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to high school sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we're expecting a 30% chance of rain before 3 a.m. with calm winds and lows in the 50s. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with winds around 5 miles per hour and a high of 71 degrees. Tomorrow night we'll have lows in the 50s and partly cloudy skies. Saturday will be mostly sunny with a high of 81 degrees and winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, skies will be clear with lows in the 50s. You can see a large storm approaching that may break up into scattered storms by the time it reaches us. We are expecting a sunny weekend. Scattered storms are expected to begin on Monday and continue on throughout the week. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow in New Hampshire, the Sunapee Methodist Church will hold a coffee house at 7 p.m. featuring guitarist Attila Virel. In Claremont, the Opera House will host Stevens High School's production of The Wizard of Oz at 7 p.m. In Hanover, the Hop will hold a Glee Club commencement concert at 9:30 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. And now it's time to look at high school sports. There are many tournament games that happened this week. There are a few recent ones worth mentioning. In girls lacrosse, the Hanover Marauders dominated Merrimack High School in a 19-6 win. This was part of the girls lacrosse Division II tournament. Another game was the Lebanon vs. Pelham girls lacrosse game. In this game, Lebanon made a terrific win over Pelham. The score was 16-4 and the game was the first round of the Division III tournament. Star player Emily Perryman scored 7 of Lebanon's goals. Number 5 Lebanon is set to take on number 4 Laconia sometime this week. It is sure to be an intense game. Lastly, the Sunapee girls softball team made a staggering win against Derryfield in the New Hampshire Division IV tournament. The final score of the game was 9-0.